Hey guys, this is Kieran from Eccentric Physio. Today's exercise is a little bit of assessment slash trying to develop some end range control. This is going to be really useful for like your overhead lifting technique or overhead throwing, particularly behind you. It's going to be teaching you how to know whether or not you can actually get that thoracic extension, which is that prerequisite for our shoulder blade position to allow our glenohumeral to get into this end range without being at end range of the shoulder joint. So it's a bit of a load sharing ability through all these areas. So if that sounds like you've had trouble getting up into these areas, then give this exercise a go. One of our exercises, which I'd have to double check, but I think I've labeled it as either the first or the second step to building thoracic extension, maybe the second step, is when you're laying on your tummy and you're pushing your sternum towards the ground. Now, it's not to say that that has to be how you lay, it's just a demonstration of some flexibility and ability, right? But we can bring that same principle to here, the floor now becoming the wall. So as my feet come up to the wall, I'm losing a little bit of distance because my feet aren't in plantar flexion. So that's something to consider. But what I want to do is get my sternum here to push towards the wall, to push that way. But I don't want to do that by compromising position elsewhere. So what that means, if you're not familiar with some of the principles we've been talking about, go back to some of our lower back videos around torso control. But we want our ribs to be down, be as tall as you can, and be as wide as you can, okay? And if that's very challenging for you, then go back to the ground and learn how to get into there, and it'll have much better carryover into this faster than if you try and do it here, because you'll just be fighting your own tension, okay? So, you've done that check, you've got that ability, now come to the wall. So I'm going to push my sternum towards the wall. No other body part is touching the wall, just my sternum. Is this how you're going to lift in real life? Maybe not. But it's an end range demonstration, right? So we're just seeing, do you have capacity a little bit more than what you need? So as I go into this end range and I push my sternum up against the wall, no other body part, and then can I bring my hands up? So what's happening here for me is I'm maintaining my ribs in a down position. I'm not letting that happen, right? Because if that happens, then my ribs are going to touch the wall and not my sternum. You can see how this is closer, more forward. That's why it's a nice thing to think about with only this touching the wall, no other body part. And then the second step is the hands overhead. So I'm here, breathing. I'm as wide as I can be. I'm as tall as I can be. I'm keeping that. I'm not sacrificing any of it. And then my hands are coming overhead, my elbows are straight, if they can be. If they're not, look at your triceps and your lats. And then can I lift off the wall without compromising anything? Okay? And what you're going to start to develop or feel is your spinal erectors kicking in to help support that position. And that's how we get into these upper range positions, to be able to be nice and stable up here for pushing or accepting weight down, okay? So give this a go and think of it as like a bit of a test. You could do some reps here. I'd treat it as more of like a warm-up, maybe a little bit of a mobility exercise at like the end of a session, but more as a warm-up at the beginning of a session. Just get yourself familiar with that, get some blood pumping into those ranges, and then get into your overhead lifting for the day. If you like this video, then please hit like below. Otherwise, to check out more of our content in the future, you can subscribe to our channel by clicking our logo over here. And to check out our latest video, click up here.